this video we're going to talk about the strategies that you can make quite a lot of money, and I have some students that are making around 300,000 a year to 600, some of them even making 800,000 pounds a year. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Valter Pontes. I'm a property investing entrepreneur, and in this video we're going to talk about a strategy called rent to rent. It doesn't seem that you make quite a lot of money in rent to rent, but yes, you can make a lot of money in rent to rent. So what is rent to rent? So there are two types of rent to rent. There's one where basically you are managing a HMO. A HMO is a house of multiple occupancy, where basically you take each room and you're going to be renting each room. So you're going to find a landlord, you're going to guarantee the landlord a rent, and then you're going to pay the landlord a fixed rent. The good thing for landlords is because instead of they manage the property, they're going to have someone to manage the property for them. So that is quite appealing for the landlords. Now, why they would do a rent-to-rent contract, rather why they don't just give it to our letting agents? The reason why they sometimes decide to do this contract with investors, rent-to-rent investors, is because the rent-to-rent investor will guarantee them a rent. Most agents don't guarantee rent. Some of them start guarantee rent now because they start losing deals for the rent-to-renters, but that is why I appeal the landlords to do a rent-to-rent contract. Now, what is the other type of rent-to-rent? The other type of rent-to-rent is a rent-to-rent for short letting, meaning for serviced accommodation. So you take a normal house, a normal flat, and then you're going to rent for serviced accommodation. The same concept. You guarantee, let's say, £1,000, but you're going to take the house and you're going to do a short let, let's say for £200 a night. And so you pay the landlord £1,000, and you can make quite a good money to do this strategy as well. So these are the two types of rent deals that people can do. As I said to you, so I'm going to be releasing some videos of students that are making 300 to 700. I have even students that make it almost $1 million by using these strategies. So now, what is the cons? So basically, what is not as good thing about the rent-to-rent strategy? So you're not owning the assets. So for example, I've done some rent-to-rents in the past, and I convert that rent-to-rent to a purchase lease options, and I end up buying the property in the end. But if in case you just do rent-to-rent, you don't have the option to buy the property in the end. So that is one bad thing about rent-to-rent. And other thing is it can be quite intensive. So what do I mean by that? So when you get, let's say 5, 6, 10, 12, 13, properties, it can become kind of a job if in case you do not systematize your business. So if in case you wanted to know how can you systematize your rent-to-rent business, let's say you have a rent-to-rent business, you can comment if you can like this video, and if I see quite a lot of likes and comments, I can do an in-depth step-by-step video on how can you systematize your rent-to-rent business and take yourself out of the rent-to-rent business. Now, what is the good thing about rent-to-rent? So it doesn't require a lot of money to start in. So for example, let's say you wanted to buy a property, you need to have the money for the deposit. If in case you start rent-to-rent, you don't need to invest a lot of your capital to start a rent-to-rent. Yes, you will need some money. I know a lot of people say you don't need any money to start rent-to-rent. Yes, you will need some money. You need to do some refurbishment. Sometimes you need to do some painting. You need to dress the house. So you will need some money to start in rent-to-rent. Not a lot, but you will need some cash to start rent-to-rent. However, the other good thing about rent-to-rent is recurring. So for example, in sourcing, you will have to, and if you don't know what is sourcing, I have a video where I explain what is sourcing. So in sourcing, you're always sourcing deals. You're always looking for other deals to package to an investor to make money. And rent-to-rent is more recurring because you have kind of that management fee coming every single month. So that is the good thing about rent-to-rent, because you have that money coming every single month. So if in case you want to start in property, you don't have a lot of money for the deposit, it's a strategy that you can consider to do because it's more recurring. Particularly if you have family and you want more recurring income, you can do Rent2Rent. So that is for the Rent2Rent. In the next video, I will be showing you some people that are doing very well in Rent2Rent. And as I said to you, if in case you want me to do a video in depth on how can you systematize your Rent2Rent business, comment below, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.